Look at how this cow is limping, throwing her head up to alleviate the pressure through the sore point. That is a lame cow. We visit this farm and ones like it all across southwest Scotland every 2 weeks. So we see cows like this relatively quickly after the incidence of lameness. She's throwing her head up every time she places that front right foot on the ground. That's because her head is heavy and she wants to alleviate any pressure through that sore digit. These farms are well versed in hoof trimming, which is why the facilities are perfectly matched for us. They're set up, they equip themselves so that our job is as easy as possible. And luckily for us, usually the cows go in without a bother. I'm eager to get this cow's foot up into the air to see if there's anything I can do to overcome this bout of lameness. Cows avoid showing any signs of pain at all costs because they're prey animals, so I'm expecting this to be something serious. Straight away we can see that we've actually treated this cow before. The remnants of the previous block are still there for us all to see, and this hole is clearly where the problem originally was. You can see the wooden area that is worn right down, our glue holding that wood firmly in place. This cow was seen around 8 weeks ago. I know that because we have a computer that tells us all of the details from the last time that we saw her. The first object of the day is to remove what remains of that glue and wooden block to make sure that this outer claw is still in good shape. I've knowingly overloaded that outer claw in an attempt to alleviate the pressure from the inner one, but for some reason it hasn't completely worked. I wish I could remember every individual case that I treat, but the fact is, in an 8-week period, I can see between 2,500 and 3,000 cows. It was very hard to remember them all. I know she is going to need a block, and I can now see that this outer claw has not received any damage from being overburdened by that block that I put in place. But I want to treat this lesion first. I can tell that it's going up at an angle. It's going to stretch up towards her heel, so using a corkscrewing style of motion, I begin to carve away the top layers of hoof horn. The smell of rotting tissue and flesh is one that I know very well, but I still don't enjoy it. The climate here in southwest Scotland is very moist. The air is moist itself, and these hooves are soft as a result. They don't dry out properly at this time of year, so the hoof horn is easy for me to carve. This part of her wall horn needs to be removed, but it's very tough for me to remove even with a razor sharp knife, so I use my grinder to reduce as much of it as I can before returning to the knife and doing the finer, more delicate part of the trim. She flinches as I touch her corium. I haven't cut her, but even touching anything like that, especially when it's inflamed, must be uncomfortable. I'm attempting to wedge the hook of my knife in between the layers and strip away the top ones, the ones that aren't fully attached. You can see a very clear separation in the sole, and this part of her heel is really high, so I'm going to reduce that with the grinder in an effort to speed this trim up. I hate cows being in the crush for any longer than they absolutely need to, and the grinder is a vital tool in trying to reduce that amount of time. The vibrations of the grinder are making her flinch though. It's the lesser of two evils. If I were to leave her like this, she would get much, much worse. If you look right around the lesion, there's a very hard, crisp line. I'm attempting to make that line disappear and fade out. That will mean there's no more separation in the hoof horn, and hopefully when the new hoof horn begins to grow, it'll be completely attached. The area I'm working on right now is the part that has caused the problem, and it's infected with digital dermatitis. Watching hoof horn being stripped away like this is satisfying, and in reality the same is true. But it is hard work. You need to put a huge amount of pressure through the blade of the knife, but at the same time you need to control that pressure, because if the cutting becomes easier, the knife will slice all the way through the foot. It's important that I take my time here and remove every little shred of hoof horn that I can afford to. These small cuts are the difference between a cow truly overcoming lameness or ending up back where she started. We didn't completely manage to heal this cow first time around, so I'm very keen to make sure I do the absolute best job possible, and that includes removing this small dark mark that could become a problem later on. With the addition of a block, all it remains to do is treat this digital dermatitis. It's literally eating away at the new fresh hoof horn that is trying to form. And once we've sprayed it, we wrap the whole thing with salicylic acid and get to see how she's walking now. I don't expect her to be walking much better at all, to be honest, and she's still throwing her head up in the air. But I think she does look slightly more comfortable.